Hello, my name is Vova, and this is a series of lectures how to take amazing pictures with your phone. This is the second lecture, and I will be talking about direct light. In the previous lecture I talked about different types of light, directions of light, the different light sources, and today I'm gonna cover different aspects of direct light. And just a reminder, I'm talking about natural light only in this series. So, what are the properties of direct light? We can split the day into two parts. Of course, there are more, but it's easier for our understanding and for the training of our eyes as a photographer eyes. Okay. So basically, there are two angles of direct light: the morning and evening light, and the midday light. And they are very different. Okay, the midday light creates deep and sharp shadows. Okay, deep meaning they are very dark compared to the bright parts. Okay, and we saw in the previous lecture it can create burnt spots. So here in this picture there are no burnt spots. Well, here there are little details, but everything is more or less lit and very good. Okay, and the shadows are short, so if there is an object, you can see by the plants here, the shadows are really short, just the small spots of dark places. And the direction, of course, is vertical because the sun is above us. Okay, so you can see by direction of the lines of the shadows. Morning and evening light, I combine them together, but there is some differences between them. For the sake of this lecture, I will talk about morning and evening light as one type of light. The shadows are much softer. You can see that they are less thick, they're less dark, and the pattern of the wall here, for example, is easily can be seen also in the bright part and in the dark part. And the shadows are very long usually. The more we wait for the sunset or the very early sunrise, usually give us very long shadows. And another aspect of morning or evening light is the yellow color. In the morning, usually we get depends on the again on the lighting condition, but as a general rule, the evening light is really yellow, and gives a special mood to the pictures that can be used for getting a certain effect on the viewer. So let's look at several examples. What can we shoot under midday light conditions? Okay, the sun is above us, the shadows are sharp and dark, and in this example we see two kids playing around, and the shadows give us sort of framing together with this building, and we can say that the picture works pretty well. Okay, the shadows are part of the composition, and I will talk in the next lectures about composition. So here are the shadows really are part of the composition. And okay, let's go to the next one. Here I use the shadow to create some geometrical form. The line of the shadow creates a certain geometrical form of the whole picture, and again it plays really well. The picture is more or less balanced. The shadows work really well in this picture. Here I captured an interesting pattern of the young tree on the ground. In the midday, the shadows can create all kinds of structures on the ground. I love to capture shadows on the ground, and midday is perfect for that. Another example of direct light is here. The sun is obviously on the other side of the flower. Okay, we can spot it by by the lighting. We can see that the light here on the edges of the picture are more dark, a little more dark. It's called vignetting. If you want to look it up, it's an interesting instrument when we use in the photography. I will probably talk about it in the composition part. And as I mentioned in the previous lecture, the direct light creates emphasizes colors, so we can see the very bright color of the flower, and also it gives a certain contour to this flower. So these direct light conditions are really work well in the picture with flower. So what are the challenges of direct light? The direct light can create burn spots. Okay, we can see here on the head we have a burn spot. Burn spot we call a part of the picture where there are no details. It's so white we cannot spot any details. There are no texture, nothing. And the problem with the burn spot is that we cannot fix it in the post-processing. Okay, in some software programs or applications on a telephone, on our smartphone. So it's not a rule that you don't have to have burn spots. We might have burn spots on our picture, but it's very good to pay attention and to ask ourselves, do we want a burn spot on our picture? So in this example, I turned a volume, like the brightness of the picture down, and we can compare the two pictures. The picture below is much darker. So what is the effect? What did we gain by this darkness of the picture? But for the sake of the technical explanation, the burn spot is almost gone. So how do we control the picture brightness? I'm using Galaxy S8 for this course, and if you don't find it easily, you can look it up in Google, YouTube, search for exposure control, and I'm sure you will find how to do it with your model. So when I tap on the screen during capturing the photo, I get this line with this lamp, and it will always be in the middle at the beginning, and I can adjust it with my finger, push it down or up, and the effect will be, in this case, for example, if I pull it down to minus, the picture becomes less bright, more dark. And here as well you can see the burn spot is much less, and the whole picture is much darker. And this is another example what effect is done by playing with the brightness. Okay, so you are invited to judge for yourself what picture you like more. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the evening light. This is one example of I took a photo of myself in the evening light condition, and as you can see, it's a whole different effect. The mood is different, the shadows are different, the light is less aggressive, less contrast, okay, and it creates just a different mood. So usually, as a really coarse rule of thumb, evening light or early morning light is very good for portraits. But again, you are invited to break the rules and search for your own. Another example is we can see the lone shadows, the yellow color on those pictures with the plants and the buildings. We can feel the mood of the evening. Here's another example. The colors are very different than in the midday. Okay, and now I would like to go over several pictures of different photographers, and we will see what effect is used by the lighting conditions. Okay, so let's take a look here. This is a early morning light. You can see the long, sharp, dark shadows. Okay, it's a very contrast photograph, beautifully arranged, and the colors are here are emphasized, and we have a certain mood of morning, beginning of the day. The composition is beautiful, so all the lighting conditions really work well here. And here's very different picture. The light is much softer. We can see direct light coming from the trees, but also the shadows are much less thick, and the mood is very different. There's some spaciousness in the picture because of the different light conditions than the previous one. Here we have a sun behind the cloud, and we can see the sun rays here coming from the cloud. There's some contrast, and just feel the picture, feel the different color, what it does to the picture. This is those two pictures are by Ansel Adams, by the way, of course. This is a cloudy light conditions. Okay, and we can see more soft light. The mood is a bit darker, and the whole together with the mountains create some kind of nice tension of the nature. So the light is beautifully integrated to the picture idea. So here I took this picture. I found this picture. It's not my picture, of course, and it drew my attention because of the usage of the light. It's either early morning or evening. The sun is direction. The light direction is frontal, right? And because of the direction of the light, there is no texture, and the photographer really used this beautifully to emphasize this picture that it's almost graphical, and there's no texture on the tree because the light is coming from in front of the object. Okay? So the whole mood is more soft, I would say. And of course the light is very different with if we compare to previous pictures. Here's another picture of Ansel Adams. Morning light, we can see the workers with the shadows, sharp shadows, the lines in the ground, the mountains. Everything is very well defined, very bright, very clear. And as opposed to that, beautiful picture of Michael Kenna, very soft. I think it's just after the sunset, so the mood is very different. So you can see the comparison between the sharp, direct sunlight to very moody and soft light here as well. This is my picture. I used the sunlight to emphasize the plants, and made a picture very contrast, so you can see what effect it creates. Another picture of mine, a little foggy. The sun is in between midday and evening, and creates a really nice contour on a tree and a sea. Here again, use the direct light for this beautiful shadow together with this blend sea seed in the stone. Another example of direct or indirect, judge for yourself. Yeah, but yeah, that's it for today. So next lecture I will be talking about diffused light and different lighting conditions that are not direct. See you soon. Bye.